In the United States, the average healthy lifespan often ends in the mid-60s. After that point, many seniors begin to accept aching joints, weaker legs, and slower movement as unavoidable. And nearly 70% of Americans over 65 will need some form of long-term care, often due to loss of mobility. But when you look at Japan, a very different picture appears. More than 95,000 people there live past 100, many remaining mobile and independent into advanced age. And they all share one thing in common. They never stop practicing 6 simple daily exercises. In this episode, we'll show you exactly which ones so you can do them too. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where science and lived experience come together to help you age with strength and clarity. Today, we are exploring the 6 daily movements Japanese seniors practice daily to live longer and stronger, well into later life, that are proven to reduce risk of disability and falls by more than 30%. And to guide us through these exercises, sitting across from me is someone who still practices these movements every single day. Japan's oldest practicing doctor, still feeling strong well past 100. Welcome back, doctor. Thank you, John. I'm grateful we're having this conversation. Many seniors believe long life is something we inherit, but more often it's something we practice. The body isn't asking for perfection. It just wants to move, and when it does, strength stays away longer than we expect. That really reframes aging because so many seniors are told to slow down, sit more, and be careful. They do not hear that careful movement might be exactly what keeps them strong. Yes, weakness is rarely sudden. It arrives quietly when muscles are no longer invited to work. Balance fades when it is not challenged, and independence slips, not from age itself, but from years of gentle avoidance. The good news is that the body remembers quickly when we ask it to move again. That lands deeply. And if you're listening right now and want to feel stronger, happier, and more confident in your body again, please write a 1 in the comments. We have made a free exercise guide for you, which we will send you if you tell us you completed this whole episode. Yes. And don't worry, today's exercises are not dramatic. It's all about the body that responds to repetition, not intensity. And when you do these exercises each day, muscles stay awake and the brain keeps trusting the body. That's beautiful, doctor. It tells us that today's exercises are for everyone. And I know for many seniors that it's mostly about the quiet loss of confidence, the moment they hesitate before standing up or feel unsure stepping outside, even when their body could still support them. Yes, and once that trust slips, everything feels harder. But when the body feels grounded again, even simple movements can restore a sense of safety. So let's start there. There's one simple position that teaches the legs how to support the body again. Okay, let's dive into the first exercise, doctor. How do we start? We start by bringing attention back to the legs. The first exercise I teach is shikodachi, a wide grounded stance that wakes up the thighs, hips, and inner legs. Without needing speed or strain, you simply stand with your feet wider than shoulder width. Turn the toes slightly outward and let your knees soften as you lower your hips just a few inches. That sounds approachable, and I can already feel seniors relaxing as they hear that. When someone tries this for the first time, what should they focus on so they do it correctly and do not scare themselves? Well, the key is to keep the chest lifted and the spine long, like you are being gently pulled upward from the crown of the head, while the hips sink only as far as feels steady. So, if a senior is listening right now, how much is enough for them to start feeling the benefit without overdoing it? That's a good place to be careful. Start with 20 seconds once a day, and if balance feels shaky, rest your fingertips on a chair back or stand close to a wall. As the weeks pass, you can move toward 30 seconds, then 45, then 1 minute, always breathing slowly through the nose so the nervous system stays calm. I love that you are describing it like a daily signal, not a workout. Yes, and timing matters for seniors. I often see Japanese elders do this naturally in the morning as part of their routine, but it also works well in the early afternoon when the legs feel warm. Do 2 rounds with a short rest between and stop if you feel sharp knee pain, numbness, or dizziness. Because the goal is steady activation, not pushing through a warning signs. With consistency, you often notice stairs feel easier and standing from a chair feels more confident, which is the body remembering its job. That makes the goal feel very real, not abstract. And that leads us forward, John. When the legs begin to wake up, seniors often realize the next challenge is not strength, but steadiness. The body can have power and still feel unsure, especially when weight shifts from one foot to the other. That's something I hear all the time. Seniors feel steady until they turn or take a step. So, what's the second exercise you bring in for that? Well, for this I always teach the body how to shift weight again. And for this we have a movement called nekawashi dachi, a balanced stance that helps you feel steady when turning, stepping, or changing direction. I have seen many Japanese elders use this kind of stance naturally in daily life, not as exercise, but as a way of moving with awareness. That already sounds familiar because turning and stepping are exactly where seniors say confidence drops when they try this. What should they focus on so it feels safe and not overwhelming? Of course. You stand tall and place one foot slightly forward, keeping most of your weight gently rooted in the back leg, while the front foot stays light, almost resting. Hold this position for about 20 to 30 seconds while breathing slowly, and then switch sides. And if a senior starts to feel a little unsure while holding it, what do you usually suggest they do in that moment? Good question. That's very common, and it's nothing to push through. You can do this once or twice a day near a counter or chair, using it for light support if needed, and letting the nervous system learn balance without tension. That image of keeping one foot light really helps it make sense. Yes, and timing matters. This works best after the legs are warm, perhaps after the first exercise or a short walk, and it should never cause sharp ankle pain or dizziness. Over time, the small stabilizing muscles in the feet, ankles, and hips begin working together again, which is what protects against sudden missteps. That explains why it feels more like retraining than testing balance. Indeed. Now, let's continue. Once balance begins to feel reliable again, we often notice something subtle shifting upward. Our posture starts to change without effort. That's interesting because posture feels like a completely separate struggle for many of us. Yes, it often feels that way, but balance and posture are deeply connected, and there is a seated position that gently helps the spine remember how to hold itself again. It seems like you are hinting at the third exercise of today's session. Am I right? Yes, that's right. And now we're at the third exercise known as C. It is a quiet seated position that teaches the body to hold itself upright again without tension. I have seen Japanese elders use this daily, often without calling it exercise, simply as a way of sitting that keeps the back strong and the hips open. That already feels different because posture is something seniors struggle with all day long. So how do they ease into this without feeling stiff or uncomfortable? You begin by lowering yourself gently and sitting back toward your heels, or on a firm cushion if the knees are sensitive, letting the spine rise naturally instead of forcing it. Start with 1 minute once a day breathing slowly and letting the shoulders soften. Then gradually work up to 2 or 3 minutes as it becomes familiar. The key is that the body feels stacked and supported from the inside, not braced or held rigid. That makes it sound much more approachable than most posture advice. Yes, and this is where many seniors feel surprised. When Seiza is practiced consistently, the hips begin to release. The lower back feels lighter, and the chest opens without effort. I often recommend doing this in the morning or early evening when the body feels more receptive. And if you notice sharp pain or numbness, it's important to stop and listen to your body. It sounds like posture is being rebuilt quietly, not corrected. Exactly. And something interesting happens next. When the spine learns to hold itself with ease, the nervous system begins to settle as well. Many seniors notice their breathing slows and their mind feels steadier, even though they are not trying to relax. That's fascinating because calm usually feels mental, not physical. Yes, and the body often guides the mind. When posture is steady, the nervous system feels safe and stillness comes more easily. That's where a seated practice begins to strengthen calm and control at the same time. That makes me curious. What's the next exercise you use to help seniors feel calm without giving up strength? Well, over the years I noticed that seniors who aged best had one thing in common. They know how to sit with purpose. That practice is called zazen, and it is a seated stillness practice that strengthens the core while calming the nervous system. I have watched Japanese elders use this not to rest, but to stay upright, attentive, and steady as they age. You sit tall, supported by your bones rather than effort, and let the body learn calm through alignment. That already changes the way I hear the word stillness. It sounds more like strength than relaxation. That's right. And when you try it, you'll feel that strength right away. To begin, you can sit on the floor or on a firm cushion, legs crossed or knees supported, spine gently rising as if stacked from the pelvis upward. Start with 2 minutes once a day, breathing slowly through the nose, hands resting easily, and eyes softly open or closed. Over time, many seniors build to 5 minutes. And what surprises them is how much core strength and control this creates without strain. That feels very different from the idea that calm means letting everything go. Yes, and that distinction matters. In zazen, the deep muscles along the spine stay awake, which supports breathing, digestion, and balance. Many Japanese elders practice this daily, often in the morning, because it steadies the mind while quietly reinforcing posture and inner strength. It sounds like the body is learning to feel safe while staying engaged. Precisely. And something subtle starts to happen when seniors learn to be still without collapsing. They often realize they can generate strength in new directions. Calm becomes the foundation, not the finish line. That makes me wonder how you build on that. Once calm and control are there, what exercise do you turn to next to help seniors feel strong without losing that steadiness? Well, there is a moment when strength needs to move sideways, not just forward and back. That's where the fifth exercise comes in. It's called kibadachi, a wide, grounded stance that helps the hips and legs learn to work together with control. I've seen many Japanese elders rely on this kind of stance to stay steady when stepping sideways, turning quickly, or catching themselves before a fall. It may look simple, but it reaches muscles most seniors haven't used in a long time. That makes sense because side-to-side movement is where so many falls actually happen. How do you help seniors begin this without feeling strained or worried about their knees? We start very gently. You stand with your feet a little wider than your shoulders, toes facing mostly forward, and slowly lower your hips as if sitting onto an invisible stool, stopping well before anything feels uncomfortable. And if a senior feels a bit unsure holding that position, how do they know they've gone far enough? That's an important cue to listen for. Start with 15 to 20 seconds once a day, keeping the chest lifted and the knees tracking comfortably over the feet, and use a wall or chair nearby for reassurance. As the weeks pass, many seniors work up to 30 or 45 seconds, noticing the hips and outer legs grow stronger without sharp pain. That sounds challenging in a good way, especially for muscles that do not get much attention. Yes, and that is exactly why it matters. Kibaduchi strengthens the side stabilizers of the hips and thighs, which protect the knees and help the body respond when balance is suddenly tested. Many seniors in Japan practice this briefly as part of daily routines, not to build size, but to maintain control and confidence. I can see how that would change the way someone moves through the day. And here is the important part. When seniors regain side-to-side strength, they often notice their legs feel more reliable overall, but endurance and circulation still need attention if strength is going to last. That makes me curious because even when strength and control come back, seniors still need enough stamina to carry them through the day. So, what's the final exercise you turn to when the goal is living well and staying strong longer? When everything else has settled into place, there's one movement that quietly brings it all together. Therefore, the sixth and final exercise is the wall squat, and it teaches the body how to stay strong over time, not just in short bursts. I've often seen Japanese elders rely on this kind of supported strength to keep their legs dependable well into later life. It may look simple, but it builds endurance in a way the body naturally understands. That already sounds reassuring because it feels supported instead of demanding. How do seniors approach this so it feels sustainable and not overwhelming? I usually guide seniors to stand with their back gently against a wall, feet about a foot away, and slowly slide down until the thighs begin to work, stopping well before strain. Start with 10 to 15 seconds once a day, breathing steadily, then rest and repeat one more time. Over weeks, many seniors build to 30 or 40 seconds, noticing their legs feel stronger during daily tasks like standing, waiting, or walking longer distances. That feels like something seniors could actually stick with. Yes, and that is the point. The wall offers reassurance so the body can work without fear, and the muscles learn to stay engaged longer without tension. This movement also encourages steady breathing and circulation, which is why many seniors feel less fatigue as they stay consistent. I can see how that would really change how long someone feels capable during the day. Yes, and this is the deeper part. When seniors build endurance this way, they often stop thinking about exercise at all. Movement starts to feel like support instead of effort, something that carries them through the day rather than something they have to push themselves to do. That's powerful because it shifts how seniors see their own bodies. Yes, and once these movements come together, something important happens. They stop feeling like exercises and start feeling like habits. That is when health becomes part of daily life, not a separate task. That makes me curious about how Japanese seniors actually fit all of this into their day. How do they combine these movements in a way that feels natural and not overwhelming? They do not think of these as exercises. Japanese seniors fold them into moments they already have. A few minutes in the morning, a pause before meals, a quiet moment in the evening. When the movement becomes part of daily rhythm instead of a task, the body accepts it without resistance. That really lands because it takes the pressure off and replaces it with intention. Now, to everyone listening, if this conversation spoke to you, take a moment to share it, leave a comment, and subscribe. Oh, and watch this next video right now. Yes, please. We've picked this one especially for you.